goes to advanced weapons school, which is 2-3 weeks, something like that.
It's about 2.5 weeks
Yeah.
before you flew out.
So what's so good that they were 2 weeks ahead of us instead of 1 week ahead of us is where we were out on the West Coast. We were at West Coast boot camp and then West Coast training. There was a tradition at the weapons school. As soon as the first, like you get there day one, the first weekend, so it's your first weekend in there, you have to fight the people that were there the week before. Because it doesn't seem like much a week, but a week is a huge difference in boot camp and training. Like it's a 1 week there is a bigger difference than sophomore to senior, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, me and my group get there. We fight the guys that were there a week before us. If I had been in there 1 week earlier, I would have been fighting him and the chief, and then we would have never been friends. Whether I won and we kept fighting, or they won, either way, we would have never been able to be friends, right? But fortunately, they were 2 weeks ahead of us. We never saw each other. Get to the fleet. And I hadn't seen these. I was probably been there a week or two at this point. And I was all about, I was laser focused on what I wanted to do. When I got my time off, I was shining my boots, pressing my camis, which these son of guns don't do now because they have suede boots. Their camis are already pressed. Let's make sure my uniform's immaculate. I was just studying Marine Corps history and knowledge. I was, running, just doing everything I could to be the best I could possibly be, right? And so I didn't have time for a lot of shenanigans. So after it must have been 2 weeks, my section leader, he says, hey, you need to calm down and bond with us a little bit because you're just always in the books, always doing your uniform, all this. That's okay, fine. So I started having some beers, and I'm standing out there, and I was in slides just like this, but barefoot. I don't know what pants were, but I was in slides like this.
He was in khakis.
Was it? Okay.
He was a prep.
He was, what were you calling it earlier?
Prep squad. That's what the detectives called it. So I was standing out there in my there were Adidas slides with a little, just like this, but they're Adidas. So I'm standing out there. I got a beer in my left hand. I got a cigarette in my right hand. I'm talking to my section leader, Lance Corporal Andrew Lepasier.
Lepasier.
And so I'm standing there, and this big fat Mexican walks up, and he starts talking to my Lance Corporal, which was a big deal. Again, like you can't imagine the depth of devotion you have and how much you care about these.